Right, we thought we might take Tilly round the block for a change, you know, instead of fretting about the BMW. We'll take the Harley for just a quick little ride, just to get her, you know, you know. Go up the dirt road and maybe up that way a bit somewhere, come back, hopefully she'll behave herself. A good girl. Going okay? Bloody microphone itches my chin. Got any brakes, have we? A little bit. She certainly is a different bike to ride than the BM, that's for sure. She's a much more seat of your pants kind of experience. No less enjoyable or no more enjoyable, just different kinds of bikes, you know. If I had money and time and space, I'd have, I don't know, a dozen bikes. Easy. You know, just through the different kinds of experience that you get with every motorcycle. Even sometimes, you know, like a 650 Bonneville is different than a 750 Bonneville, and of course the 750 is different than the newer 790s, and the 865s, and I don't know what we're up to now. What's yours, James? 1200, I suppose. So I don't know whether we're going to talk about the BMW today or not. There's not a lot to say about it, actually. I'm at a bit of a dead end again. I'll think about it for a day or two. Maybe try some different things with the front shocks. I think they're pretty soft, but you don't want them too hard either. So, you know. You don't want them too hard, because then they'll you know, make the front end shake, sort of thing. Maybe, you know, I don't know. Let's say maybe I'm expecting too much from it. but I don't think so. Do I, darling, eh? You're a good girl. I'm not gonna now I gotta remember where the gear lever on this is. Used to be up in there. I hate that. Hate that, I do. Definitely a gearbox that rewards firm and positive shifting. Now I promise you all, someday in the not too distant future, I'll take us along a different road somewhere. Good girl. When my mate RB comes to visit, I'll get him to give me a hand to adjust these rear shocks. I'll just take them back a turn, you know. The old girl. She's a lovely girl. This old girl. Tilly's doing well today, that's good. He hasn't done much in the BMWs, you know. these corners, you know, they're a lot sharper than they look on the camera, which is why I was talking about coming back yesterday on the BM about it, you know, wanting to go around the corner sort of thing. I suppose I would not stray too far from home. With the whole house open and the BMW sitting in the yard with the shed open and stuff. I'm a bit paranoid about her at the moment. I suppose, you know, even if the BMW was handling immaculately and, you know, blah blah blah, I'd be lucky to do much more than 80 kilometres an hour with her yet. Anyway, it's definitely like a long-term proposition, the old Tilly girl, you know. It's just strange, you know, because Bella was just easy. She never even ever basically had an issue. She stood up everywhere, stood up all the way to bloody to Melbourne, you know. One trip. I suppose she probably stood up all the way to Perth on the Triumph, you know. But, you know, she'd be knackered at the end of the day, of course. And I used to worry that that sort of contributed to her arthritis in life, you know, but then you realise, of course, she was going to get it anyway, you know, because you know, if she's a working dog, she'd have been riding around the back of utes and stuff as well, you know, so. These roads are a bit corrugated after the rain. Just go up there and turn around again, I suppose. Went into the Harley shop in Forbes yesterday when I was in my travels, and there's no doubt about it, is there? You know, the Harley riders are different. They really sort of think they're lifestyle people or something. No, I suppose they are. I'm just an old codger now who reckons these young blokes haven't paid their dues, you know. They buy themselves a shovel head or something and ride it till something goes wrong and then give it to the man to fix, you know. And I suppose, you know, fair enough. I'd probably do the same thing if I had plenty of money. got a pretty good turning circle. I suppose everything does after my years with the Rocket 3. You know, it handled really well after I spent so much time on it. Good girl, hey? I suppose we should put your goggles on, shouldn't we? But it certainly was fairly stiff in the front end as well. Though, you know, having said that, nowhere near as stiff as the BMW is with that steering damper on it. You know, the Triumph was just a great big motorcycle. Surprisingly, I mean, I think it was John in the UK, you know, said you must miss the big girl, you know, and I sort of do, but I kind of don't either, you know, like I've moved on from it, I suppose. Don't need it anymore. You know, we originally bought that so Kerry and I and Bella and Seamus could ride to Perth and back, which is what we did, and then we just kept it a lot longer after that. Did a lot of miles, did 150,000 Ks on that bike. Front brake locks up easy, doesn't it? No good girl. Just want to check something. What do you reckon, Tilly pup? Oh shit, I just want to hear that motor going again. I don't know what this hill's called. I got a feeling it's called something like Black Hill. Though it's, when you see it in the late afternoon, it gets the westerly sunset across it, it's very red. Looks very Kimberley, actually. That's what it reminds me of, Kimberley or the Bungles, you know, where my brother was. And I visited a couple of times. As the afternoon wears on here, you see the kangaroos all start to congregate in this paddock and graze. I don't know what happens when they get dark, except they then hop out in front of me. I'll run the fuckers over, which is really disappointing. You get older, you get, I don't know, a bit more sensitive to that kind of stuff. When I was younger, I was like, oh well, fuck, I'm still alive. You know, the kangaroo's not, but I am. Who cares, you know? And you move on. I've hit about 7 or 8 skippies in my time. There's 2 of them on a bike. And lucky with those ones, you know. One of them was on the old K100 up near Nindy Gully up there. Another one was on the Ebor Road. It's kind of, you know, that gets the juices flowing, doesn't it, Tilly? Eh? Now, we got something here for you. I just saw those goggles before. Here they are. How about we put these on? There you go. Oh, hey, what a bloody model you are. Yes. She's a lovely girl, that Tilly. Excuse me for a second. I think my next experiment with the BMW is going to be, I'm just going to get some of this tape and put it sort of between these places somehow if I can, and see if it snaps, you know, and shows movement from one place to the other, sort of thing. It's probably a really dodgy thing to do, but we'll try it. Either that, or I might see if I can find another piece of mounting arm and clamp it on or something and see if that makes a difference to it. See if it actually is doing this. Anyway, let's forget about the BMW on the Harley today, aren't we, Tilly? Oops, we're in gear, which is a bit embarrassing. Now you tell him. Tilly. Sit. Nah. There reason I stopped then was the front brake rotor is heating up, and I realised I might have too much fluid in the master cylinder reservoir, you know. So I took some out. I just stopped there, but it's still getting very warm. So, and it's not from braking, so it's the pads aren't clearing the rotor. I have to do something about that, I guess. Never a bloody dull moment when you ride old motorbikes, is there? There's Bernie. Let's go and say hello to Bernie. Hello, mate. How would you be? Oh, a bit the same, actually. Yeah, bit of an old codger. Yeah, I'd just take it. Sit down. Girl. Good girl. So that was Bernie. He owns that property just there, and his son Tim is a grave digger, and he's going to dig me a hole for a septic tank and stuff when the tank finally shows up. Back to third in the Harley. We'll get the knee out, will we? Sorry, I can amuse myself at times. When I first came here, it was the middle of summer, and Get up in there. Bloody thing. And there were hardly any birds around at all. Now there are birds everywhere. You begin to sort of notice them and see them a bit more and hear them, I guess. Funnily enough, and this is a joke, well, not a joke, but a story that probably just the Australians will relate to. There were no magpies in the area at all until about 3 days ago, because spring's coming on. So they'll start probably swooping me and Tilly on our afternoon walks, you know, and morning walks. Not that we go far, and I can see which tree they're in. Nice to get out on the old girl, if it's only a brief ride. We should probably take her somewhere, this old girl. I've been too obsessed with the BMW in recent times. I should put a new back tyre in this and take her for an overnighter somewhere. Tilly's obviously slowly getting the hang of it. So I would take the tent and, I don't know, find a pub. Maybe the pub at Firefield's not very far, but I don't know, see what happens. Good girl. There's a lot of pleasure in riding this bike, and as my mate Mark said, you know, that's my mate. I was telling you about the Z900 and then a 900 SS Ducati and whatever. Over the years, you know, we had we still got a Ducati Monster as well, like an 1100 or whatever they are. And he bought himself a, what we call corpulent Robert, Fat Bob, you know. And he said one thing about Harleys is that you can ride them at legal speeds. I think I just took that in third gear. No, I didn't. It's alright. Yeah, you know, they're just pleasant to ride, Harleys, apart from those kind of agricultural bits. Well, there we go, there's our afternoon outing. I should do this more and more, actually, as we're coming up to the rally. We'll give Tilly a bit more, you know, practice, the experience, and then I won't be quite so anxious. I get a bit anxious about, you know, just don't want to do anything, her to do anything foolish. Got enough, you know, with me doing foolish things without her being foolish. Here we are, home again. What do you reckon about that, eh? Let's have a look at you. Let's have a look at you. Ah, good girl. Hey, good girl. Good pup. Yes, you're a good pup, aren't you? Good pup. Where's this bloody thing? What have we got there? We've got ourselves tangled up all night. No, we're okay, aren't we? Good girl. Good girl. Take him off. There you go. You can pop out now if you like. You're not going to be a Seamus though, are you? Or are you? Stop there.